Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is why haven't I read these books yet? Is it a tag? Obviously it's tag. Now, I was tagged in this by the lovely Alice from Alice's Giant Bookshelf, who is a great friend who I've recently seen, and she's absolutely lovely. And she thought this would be really funny to do because she knows I've got like a million books. Should be Emily and her giant bookshelf. Maybe I should change my name. What do you reckon? Because I've got like a giant bookshelf. I've got 3 or 4 giant bookshelves. No, three big bookshelves that are packed solidly, which are getting rearranged by the way. So she knows I've got under 400 unread books on my shelves. So she thought it would be fun to tag me. Now, I can't remember the creators of this tag, so I will be linking Alice's video that's got who created the tag, who I believe the original creator did it for like sci-fi books, and Alice did it for books over 10 years. I'm just doing it for my bookshelf because I do not know. I've only been on bookshelf. I've only been on BookTube for about 3 years, so I don't actually have very many books that are very old, because before BookTube I didn't have very many. Like when we moved in this house 12 years ago, and I think I had one bookshelf and it wasn't really jammed. Most of those books have been read, to be honest, and I don't even remember what was on it originally. Wish I would have taken a picture. So most of my books aren't that old, which is quite funny. But I've got a couple of debates on here. So I will be honest, I don't know how long some of these books have been on my shelves. I don't know. I don't know the exact answers to the prompts. I'm just guessing completely. But my challenge for this tag is all of these books need to be read by my birthday, so within the next 5 to 6 months. That is my challenge. They need to be on the read bit. Whether I keep them or not, I don't know, but they need to be read within the next few months. One of them I think I'm going to keep and read at the end of this month because it's a shorty one, but I'm going to talk about them obviously a bit more as I go along. So the first prompt is a classic book. A classic book. And you know me, I don't do books that are I don't do like one answer per prompt. I thought that would make it a bit more interesting. I'll do 2. The one that I definitely know has been on my shelves, the one of the longest, is Martin Chuzzlewit by Charles Dickens. I bought this right at the start of the BookTube career because of Charlie from Charles Heathcote. He read this and he spoke about it quite a lot. Now this is the one, because it's so massive, I think my problem with Dickens books are that they are bloody mahoosive. My copy of this is actually, I didn't realise, it's actually one of my longest books. Because even though it's quite thin, the pages are quite small, this one is 916 pages. I think, because I know that I've got a million buddy reads, I've got a million books planned for the rest of the year, my TBR for the rest of the year is pretty much planned out. Certainly on the big books anyway. So this, for starters, will go on my list of classics that I want to read by the end of 2023. But I'm gonna aim to read it hopefully in January. I don't know whether to read it over 2 months or not, but I'm gonna aim. Now I will say about one thing. Oh, this postscript is included in it. Oh, great! If you include the postscript, it's actually 920 pages. Why did I listen to Charlie? But basically, this is about wealthy old Miss Anderthorpe, I can't say the word, Martin Chuzzlewit regards selfishness so endemic in the Chuzzlewit family that he disinherits his grandson and obstructs his courtship of Mary Graham. As intrigues of the plot take hold, domestic tyranny is vividly depicted in the embellishment of Mr. Pecksniff. Public villainy, spawning blackmail and murder is uncovered in the goings-on of the Anglo-Bengali disinterested loan and life insurance company. Selfishness and humbug are sober themes of this satire. Humbug bit reminds me of Charlie anyway, not selfishness. Charlie is lovely, but the humbug bit does remind me of Charlie in the funniest of ways. It has been on my shelf for ages, but it's apparently the finest and funniest of Dickens' comic novels. I am thinking, because I've got to read Bleak House in December, thinking this is one I read in January. But you guys can let me know, do I read it over 2 months or do I read it in 1 month and just make the most of it? My print is ridiculously small, but the one thing I will say about this edition, it is a Doodle Penguins Classics edition, although it's very old. This edition looks very old. The one thing I will say is something that I've just noticed, which I didn't even notice. got pictures in it, which some of Penguin classics do. So that does kind of excite me slightly. But this one's been on my shelf for bloody ages. So it does need to get read. It needs to get read January or February. This one I bought at a 20p charity shop and it looked pretty. It's a trilogy, Lark Rise to Candleford. I thought, I didn't know what era it was in. I didn't know, I thought it was like a Victober one, but it's not. It's before, it's after Victober. And this is, I've got Lark Rise, Over to Candleford and Candleford Green. All in this. This does need to be read at some point. But because it's not a Victober cut book, and it's not one that I can necessarily fit into readathons, I think that's what shortened it out. But it's not a very long book. 500 pages. I say not. This one again doesn't look long, but it is. Don't know when I'm going to get to that. Someone tell me when, if any one of you got it and want to buddy read it with me, let me know down below. But I believe I bought this right at the early stages of my booktube career. So it's probably about 2 or 3 years old. Probably about 3 years old. But obviously the actual classic is older than that. It's not one of, I don't know. Nothing's drawing me to it. And I don't know why. I don't know if I've got any details on it. It's like a modern classic, I think. I don't know any details. I literally do not know anything. Something in it drew me because I thought, oh, it looked pretty. Yeah, apparently it was first published in 1939. But it looks older than that. So, someone try and do something to jab me to read it, please. Okay, now a fiction book. And a fiction book obviously could be anything. I have decided to use this one because it's a Jane Green book that I've had for ages. I liked Jane Green. I used to read her when I was about in my early 20s and 30s. She was like a contemporary author that I read loads of. But since joining BookTube, she is no longer one of my favourite contemporary authors. I've read some books that are, to be honest, I feel really horrible saying this, a lot of my English contemporary authors are the ones that win. Because this is Jane Green is an American one, which I didn't realise. And I think I prefer the English ones because obviously it's a bit more, feels a bit close to home. That's not me being any rude or anything. But yeah, I've had this for ages. Nothing's drawing me to it. I don't know whether I need to try a chapter on it or what. But Saving Grace, it looked like, apparently, like a perfect stranger wants her perfect life. So this one could be really good. Grace Chapman has an enviable setup, living comfortably with her husband, best-selling author Ted, and a picture-perfect farmhouse on the Hudson River in New York State. Then Ted advertises for a new assistant and Beth walks into their lives. Organised, passionate and eager to learn, Beth quickly makes herself indispensable to Ted and his family, and Grace soon begins to feel sidelined in her home and her marriage by an ambitious young woman. Is Grace being paranoid, as her husband tells her, or is there more to Beth than first appears? This could be more of a thrillery kind of thing, so it might actually be better. Again, jab me to read this. The fact that these are on here needs to be this. Right, a non-fiction book. Non-fiction books do not stay on my TBR for very long. But this one I won in a giveaway. I don't even know why. It's one of those giveaways where I thought, oh yeah, I'll go for it. I can't even remember who it's by. Red Door. This is no ordinary cigar book. It's unlike any travel log you'll ever read. It's guaranteed to make you laugh. Join esteemed writer Nick Hammond as a whistle-top tour of discovery through the steaming rainforests of Borneo to the scorching plains of Africa, trailed by fragrant waft of cigar smoke. Funny, thought-provoking and compelling to read. Around the World in 80 Cigars is a perfect read for anyone who enjoys the finer things in life. Does this really sound like me? Why did I even go for this? Great food, stunning drinks, exotic places and amazing people. I think it was a travel element because I thought about Dad and my dad, and there are some bits that could be interesting. I think this one is going to get read in November. I'm going to read it for Nonfiction November. That's it. I'm pushing myself. This is a November book. So I've kind of got like January, and then I've got 2 that I don't know. Like I said, that one I won a while ago, but nothing has been drawing to me to it. Then this one is a genre book, so I thought I'd go with one of my favourite genres, which is historical fiction. Maureen Lee is one of my favourite historical authors, but I picked this one up. I don't know how much for, but it's the biggest one on my shelves. It's my biggest book by her, and because of its size, it scared the crap out of me. So it's been living like a doorstop on my shelves for bloody ages. Nothing is drawing me to it. But it is set in, I think, 1939, did it say? Here we go. She's written so many good books, and I do love her books. Like, there is no question, I love her books. I think it's set in like 1939, I read somewhere. But it's like a wartimey kind of book. Lizzie O'Brien is born into a large, boisterous family determined to stay together in Liverpool, despite the nightly bombing raids of the Second World War. But for Lizzie, childhood innocence is haunted by a dark shadow that's ruining her life. Her brute of a father who sees her as a cuckoo invading his family. At 16, Lizzie runs away to London for the first of her stepping stones towards freedom. This one could be like a long-lasting one. She does write books that like go over quite a few years. Maybe, because I'm doing a video in November about World War books for World War One and World War Two. This might be one to inspire me to read that. What do you reckon? November? Should we go for that? So I've got 2 November books. That's okay. I can handle that. But yeah, that size that's been putting me off. So I might go for it in November. You never know. I may put it off a bit longer. I don't know. And then a book you've owned for the longest time but not yet read. Now, I know one that I got given. This has been on my shelf since before BookTube. Love Poems, and it's a pretty book. I got it before BookTube, so it's very old. But I can't remember if I've read it or if I've not read it. It's basically a poetry book, so it can't be read for Booktober because I've realised it's new poems. But it's got loads of different poems. Why have I not read it? It's got poems by, let's see if there's any authors by you guys know. William Shakespeare, obviously. Emily Dickinson, we all know. We've got Robert Browning one. We've got more Shakespeare. Edgar Allan Poe. I've not read an Edgar Allan Poe poem. I'm seeing if there's any of my favourite. Lord Byron, that could be interesting. Emily Dickinson. I'm looking Robert Graves, so I've not heard of that. I think I saw a author that we do know, Yeats, Shakespeare, loads of Shakespeare poems in here. Auden. Oh, there's got a Thomas Hardy one. Oh, yay, Thomas Hardy. Christina Rossetti. I've heard loads about her work, but I've not read them yet. Yeah. Field. Ooh. So there's 2 Thomas Hardy books. There's a few Christina Rossetti books. There's more Yeats books. Okay, I'm going to read this for February, for Doodah, Valentine's Day. That's what I'm going to read this. I'm going to save that for that. But this has definitely been on my shelves the longest. I thought I'd counted it as read, but I haven't counted it as read because I've looked at it and does not ring any bells. This needs to get read. And then I bought a selection of these children's Golden Library editions from another charity shop near me ages ago. And I've got a selection. I've got like 3 Musketeers, and all of them I bought at the same time. But this one was Pinocchio. Obviously, we all know the Pinocchio film. It was bloody good. We all loved it. And I got them all right at the start of the BookTube career, and I've not read any of them. I've even got The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn up there. But nothing was drawing me to it. I'm going to read this month. Once I've read my TBR books, this is going to get read. In fact, it may well. Yeah, I can't get read in the first half. This will get read in the second half of the month after this video comes up. So it will get read. We all know Pinocchio. Everyone knows it. We all remember the cartoon. We all remember it. We all remember the story about the boy when his nose grows and he lies. Bloody love it. So this one's going to get read. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. Very rambly. Very not really planned too much, but it's a nice short and sweet tag. I've got the Garb August one to tag for tomorrow. I've got to record tomorrow. That's going to be a bloody fun one. And that's another one that Alice tagged me in. She's evil, isn't she? No, she's not. But yeah, that'll be in that. That's the next tag to come up. But anyway, so I was tagged by Alice. Who am I going to tag? I'm going to tag Ange, because Ange I know hasn't done it, and I know that she's got books on her shelves that have been there for ages. Berna, I think she'd be quite good at doing that. Naomi, who would be Naomi's bookshelf, she would be brilliant, because nice to get people from different countries. And then lastly, Nikki from Red Dot Reads, who is a brilliant BookTube friend, and I would love to know if she's had many books on her shelves for ages. This is fun. This was a fun one to do. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed it, ring on my ding-a-ling. Let's get me to the 1,000. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.